All right, the highlights from Wednesday at GreatStockPicks.com, the chat room. I'm going to start by saying, every once in a while we get somebody questioning, our results page, and we talk about this in the video on the home page, but I'll just reiterate here. A lot of people say, well, you only show your winners, and I try to cover that in the video. It would just be too tedious to go over every trade. We have a lot of winners in our chat room that never even make the highlight page either. So hopefully from watching our videos you get the gist of our emphasis is on low risk trade. So I'm going to go over every trade from today. I'm not going to do this every day, I just don't have the time, but I'll do it today to give you an example of a full day's calls, and then you can judge for yourself if we're hiding something. All right, having said all that, let's start with the highlights. ARMH actually called this, well, I'll go over the highlights first and then we'll go over all the calls, because I actually called this twice, but the one that deserves the highlight call, ARMH, was 28.48. I came back from lunch and noticed that ARMH, which we'd already been watching because of this sell-off here, when I came back from lunch I noticed it did this big spike and then had this nice tight base. Okay, so I called it right above this base with a stop right below this base. I'll give you the numbers. 28.48 was my trigger to enter. Worst case stop 16 cents below. You can see the stop didn't get hit. This doesn't look like much of a move, but from 28.48 it did move up here over the next 20 minutes to 28.92. So it's not huge, but 44-cent move in your favor. If you're a trader at all, you can appreciate the money you could have made there. Extrapolate the number of shares you typically trade with. Nice move there. So that's one of the highlights from today. AMSC. This one got killed a while back. Huge gap down, and then it's been basing ever since. When it started to break below that base, I started thinking long. Kind of the contrarian in me. So on this big sell-off here, using a method we teach, I was projecting it live to the room so everyone could see the chart on their screen as it was unfolding. And my suggestion was 11.10. That's not the one I want. I actually want an arrow. Let's try that again. 11.10, which occurred right about here, I believe, and the worst case stop using the method we teach, 11 cents below. Sorry about that. 11 cents below, and it didn't get hit, by the way. And from 11.10, as you can see, this shot up over the course. These are 5-minute candles, so over the course of the next 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer, all the way to 11.83, again on 11 cents risk. Never got stopped out. AMRN, another one that was selling off real hard using a method we teach, and this one I was projecting live to the room. My trade suggestion using the method we teach was about 15.13, probably right about there. Worst case stop 20 cents below, a little bit wider than I like, but from 15.13 this thing made it to over 15.80 at one point, as you can see right there. That's supposed to be a better arrow. 15.80. So 68-cent move in our favor on 20 cents risk, as you can see, from 15.13. Never looked back. So another kind of good bottom feeding call there. And then a lower priced one, USAT, I called at 2.52, right about here. Worst case stop 6 cents below. Never got hit. Came close but didn't stop out. And from 2.52 to 2.68, that doesn't sound like much, but 16 cents in our favor on a $2 something stock. Not a bad percentage gain. I made some nice money on that one myself. And now I'm going to go over the rest of the calls from today for those who believe that we are hiding something by not going over every trade. And you probably also realize at the end of this video why we don't go over every trade at the end of the day. Early on this morning, I called CAM. CAM was selling off really hard here. All right. Let me scroll over. I called it over this tight little base here. Right over this base. Right there. Worst case stop right below that base. All right, so here's what happened. The entry was 48.81, and within 4 minutes it was 49.25, and we're selling into that spike for a couple reasons. One, anytime we get a nice spike like that, we want to take some profits, get to a can't lose trade right after that on the rest of the shares, and then right after that the market spiked down to new lows. So whenever I take a long and the S&P breaks to new lows, I just get out. I don't wait to see what's going to happen because we can always find other entries. So there's an example of a trade. Didn't make the highlight reel, okay, or didn't make the highlight list, but still put some money in our pocket, and it happened pretty quickly there. Let's see another one. ConAgra, CAG. Here's the daily. Nice breakout today. I missed the initial breakout. You know, it's hard to grab a trade when you get a gap up and the first candle is well, it has this kind of range and makes this kind of fast move. So on the first pullback, you can kind of make out a little base here. I called it right over this base, 25.62. Stop 13 cents below. There's the trigger, and it made its way up to 25.80. As always, we sell some into that spike, tighten up the stop, and the market was just so weak, it just pushed down after that. So again, another money in our pocket winner, but didn't make the highlight list. No hidden secrets there about a horrible call. ARMH, I told you I'd get back to that one. ARMH was pushing down nicely here early on, and it looked just like this. I called it over this candle's high, 27.71, I believe. Worst case stop 27.69. So that's not 69, sorry, 27.59. So 12 cents risk from 27.71. About 6-8 minutes later, it's at 27.89, and even went a little bit higher, went to 27.95. As always, we sell some into that spike, tighten our stop. So a little bit of money in our pocket, didn't pan out and follow through for us. Again, we called this later. I already talked about this trade right here and got a 40-cent move later on it. So unfortunately, this happened during lunch. That obviously a news story, so I didn't get anything out of this trade. But so there's another small gainer. Put a little money in our pocket, trading the way we teach, but certainly not worthy of the highlight reel. No kind of hidden secret there. CENX. CENX doing a nice push down here. So I called CENX. Try to zoom in for you. When you have a gap, you have to really zoom in to take the distortion out of it. Called CENX over this candle, 1679 with a 1663 stop. Okay, went to 1684, maybe a little bit higher, 1687. And then just chopped sideways the rest of the day. I took a small loss in this one because it didn't move up enough to take any off the table, and I wasn't going to wait all day and let it stop me out. As you can see, people that held on and kept the original stop in place did finally get a decent little pop here to sell into, but you're talking a couple hours later. I don't have that kind of patience. So there's an example of another call that might have put some money in some pockets, but we've seen this a lot lately where the things just go sideways for hours after a big push down. AIG 31.61. AIG was pretty strong today, caught my attention, and then had basically a little base right here. I liked it over this base, 31.61. The stop 31.49, 12 cents risk, and it made it up to almost 31.80 before giving it back up. So again, almost a 20-cent move. Plenty of time to put a little money in your pocket, tighten up the stop. And I think that is every call from the day. So as you can see, we're not hiding any really poor. Everything we do is based on low risk entries, very tight stops, and we teach people to sell into a pop, at least part of your position, and then tighten up the stop. My goal on every trade is to get a can't lose trade. So, but hopefully you can also see why I don't have the time to go over every one of these, and it's just not worth it. So I have a highlight page. Those who question that we're hiding some horrible calls, you're just going to have to keep questioning, because we don't call anything dangerous. I just simply don't have the time to go over these little ones that aren't worth covering. So do we have losing trades? Of course we do. But anytime I get a stock move 10, 15, 20 cents in my favor after the trigger, that is a guaranteed can't lose trade, because I'm going to put some money in my pocket and then tighten up the stop on the rest. So hopefully that clears some things up. For some people, of course, it never will. But, you know, that's the best I can do. I'm going to stop babbling. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.